Hello everyone. The Snow Queen is a boss in the Twilight Forest mod for Minecraft that is very important to kill as it gives you many special items and is required to progress. And in this video I'll show you how you can beat it and all the other enemies that you'll find along the way. But first, where do you even find her? This is the snowy forest, and that's where the Ice Queen is found, so we want to go there. Now, you may have already seen this if you have explored the Twilight Forest landscape for a while, or it may have appeared on your magic map if you have one. That's the white area. But if we go right over here, you'll see that there's a blizzard. And if we go further, then, wait for it, we will also get slowed down by the frosted effect. And it also gives us ice cubes. And this makes anything that we would want to do in the snowy forest pretty impossible. You cannot do anything if you're frozen and can't see it. So you'll first need to beat Lich. That is another boss that lives in a giant castle, and if you haven't beat him or don't know how to do it, then you can just watch another video that I made. There should be a link to it on the screen right now. Now that we have that sorted out, let's talk about the equipment necessary. So, first you'll need a lot of armor. So I didn't bring any extra armor sets. That may be a mistake, because you'll have to fight a lot of enemy mobs, and that can drain through your armor durability pretty quickly. But I think we'll figure it out. So iron armor or stronger. Next up, some standard tools. As you can see, I've got a sword and pickaxe. They're only iron, but I think we can manage that. And also I've got a bow with some arrows, water buckets, food to regenerate health, saturation, a lot of torches that is necessary. And also I've got a scepter of twilight and some ender pearls. Just in case I need those, a magic map, we won't be needing that right now, and some cobblestone because building blocks are always useful. And so, let's go in. Now, actually, the thing that we're looking for is a big rectangular hill. Like, I think that one that we see in front of us. And as you can see, it's a cave full of yetis. But first, instead of talking about it, let's explore a little bit and I'll show you the various mobs that you can find here. This is one of them. It's a giant wolf that's always hostile and can deal plenty of damage, but you can also kill it with one critical hit with your iron sword if you manage to land that. And it drops some arctic fur, which may come useful after a while. And yetis also sometimes spawn here too, but the wolves spawn in bigger numbers, so they're the biggest threat that you're going to have to deal with when exploring this place. Why are we going for the Yeti Lair hill first, not the glacier with the castle? Well, because these three bosses that you'll have to kill this stage of the game work in an interesting way. As we can see, if using our magic map, there is commonly a biome that is large, and then there's a smaller one in the middle, and it also uses a progression system. So to get inside in this glacier biome and kill the Snow Queen, we first have to beat a mini boss. As you can see, this place is full of yetis right now. And what Yetis will do, if you get near one, they will grab you and throw you in the air, dealing a lot of damage that way. The Alpha Yeti will spawn once you get to the middle of the lair. We need to make sure we have an escape way. And we can quickly make a hideout, because Yetis are more than 2 blocks tall. They can't access spaces that physically don't let them inside because of their height, just as Endermen. You can also bring your bed here and set your spawn in case you die during the fight. But let's get to the middle and spawn the Alpha Yeti. And now that he's here, he picked us up and through. And let's run back and re-evaluate the situation. It has many attacks, and we'll probably see them. So it's there right now. So one of the attacks is throwing ice blocks at us. Step back up here and then we can observe him in greater detail. Down there. And a lot of the time he is basically immune to arrows, so we'll have to wait for a time that he's and avoid these ice blocks. And to end this phase of throwing ice blocks, we'll have to get up close to it and deal some damage with our sword, melee. So let's try. Go. So now it's flailing its arms, and we can shoot it with arrows. So while it's in that attack, we can shoot arrows at it, and afterwards it resumes. Let's get ouch, it threw up ceiling. But now we can't continue. Oh no, this is very dangerous. And now he's tired for a bit, so we could, in theory, run and kill him if he's like that. And as you just saw, getting trapped between the snowfields caused by the ice blocks is very dangerous. So we may try to sneak up on the other side. Well, this is a little bit complicated. We could just go in and start hitting it, but that would be very dangerous. I wonder if it's separate fighting looks. No, it doesn't. Alright. And now he's back in the ice block throwing phase. And I think if we went up to it and tried to attack it with a sword, it would pick us up and yep, just as I suspected. But now and basically this is the fight. You try to get close to it, hit it with a sword, then you can either keep hitting it with a sword when it's tired, or step back and shoot it with that. And just repeat these actions over and over again. As you can see, he's resting a little bit. And now the ice block drawing mode is back on, so we wait for it to come here and wait out the ice block. Another assault, escape because I was stupid, and almost died. And now you see, jumping in the pit is very dangerous because you cannot get out. So you probably have to wait while he comes near you. And now we shine. And we have to get the drops. Note that sometimes the advancements glitch out and you may not get what you wanted, or you get something that you didn't deserve yet, and in that case you can solve it with commands. If you didn't get the advancement while killing the Alpha Yeti, or if you have a team of people, then the advancement can be gotten by taking one of the drops in your inventory. So it leaves a trophy like other bosses or mini bosses. It doesn't do much, it's just for decoration. It also leaves some more Arctic fur, some Alpha Yeti fur, and ice bombs. Ice bombs are weapons that can be thrown like this. And as you can see, we just turned that Yeti into ice using the bomb. But the Arctic fur and the Alpha Yeti fur, they can be used for crafting armor. So for example, with this Arctic fur, I could create an Arctic hood that is a helmet. But Alpha Yeti fur would create a stronger one, but we're not going to do that yet because we still have plenty of armor durability left. And now, the most important thing, by getting the advancement, we just unlocked our way into the glacier. If we would have tried going there before we got the advancement, then the freezing would have happened just like if you try to enter the snow forest without killing Lich first. You may notice that this glacier is a bit steep, so we'll have to get up there. And there are 3 methods to do that. Number 1, you could try digging, but I don't really recommend it because it's just really annoying having water spill out everywhere, as this is just ice. You could also try building a staircase or just building straight up, and that is actually the smartest thing to do if you intend on going back and forth. But if you don't care and want to only go up there once to place your bed or something, then you can just use the water swing. Now, and I personally use this because if I want to go back and forth, I can just place the water bucket again, and I don't have to waste building resources. And right here on the glacier, without going in the Aurora Palace, the only mob that you're going to see is the penguin. Now, they are really peaceful and won't attack you even if you hit them. The penguins don't really do anything apart from if you kill one, you get some experience, but it's not really worth it. So I'll set my spawn up here because this palace is dangerous. The good thing about Twilight Forest is that you can sleep at any time, seeing it as how it's always night. Okay, so there are two ways how you can go about climbing up to the top, because that's where the Snow Queen is. We can either do the simple way of just building a block pillar up to the top and then entering through the roof, but that would be very boring and we would miss out on a lot of really nice loot that can be found in chests inside. So we are going for the second option, which is to actually explore and light up all of the towers and defeat all the enemies. First of all, what are the common enemies that we can encounter in this palace? First of all, there are ice cores. They appear like big snowflakes. For example, this one. Their attack is to shoot snowballs at you. Of course, that is for this variant. There are actually two types of them. So this is the stable ice core. As you can see, it just fires snowballs at us. But there is also an unstable ice core, which attacks by going to you and punching you, basically, like a zombie, and when you kill it, it explodes. So be careful. The stable ice cores appear like full snowflakes that are pretty healthy, but the unstable ice cores are missing many parts, so they're easy to tell apart. The second most common threat is snow guards. They are basically invisible ghosts that are wearing different kinds of armor that you can find across the Twilight Forest, and they attack with their swords. For example, this one, or this one. Alright, and here's an unstabilized core. You can see that once it dies, it starts doing that and then it explodes. It is really important to light up the palace as you go, or otherwise more mobs will spawn and attack you from behind. And this is also one of the reasons why this place is so dangerous, because there's a wide variety of mobs that can spawn and encircle you, because there's just so many of them. Now you'll notice that these also sometimes drop armor. Occasionally it's basically unwearable, but sometimes you can use it to replenish your armor supply. And they also sometimes leave swords, or you can find ones inside these chests. There are many things that can be found in chests, and these are a couple, for example. So, a maze wafer, this is a food, and an ice sword, that's a sword that freezes your enemies when you attack them. And a lot of times there's stuff like this. There's many ways which you can go, and because of the wide variety of items you can find, I recommend going through each and every section of the castle. But there is only one main way, so sometimes you'll stumble upon a dead end. Axes are also really useful because apparently you need to take down a lot of wood. It keeps going. Okay, so maybe the last one was a dead end. Yes, because it's going so far. I think the first entrance was a dead end, so let's explore that one first. Because at the top of the right way is the Snow Queen, and I recommend you explore the whole palace before you try to kill him. You can notice the chest there. It's hidden in the pillar, so some people might not notice. Ironwood is a material out of which you can craft things that are just as strong as if they were made from iron, but it's created using live root. The armor and weapons also, as it is often with the Twilight Forest materials, comes pre-enchanted. Alright, there's another split. Okay, let's go this way. Another smart thing to do is bring coal, just in case you run out of torches, because you can find sticks in the chests pretty often. Okay, in these rooms, here you can also either travel up water, but that may ruin any torches you have on the ground. Also lower levels. Or we may dig a staircase here, which is the thing that I think is the most practical in this situation. An ender bow. Ender bow is one of the many types of bows that you can find in chests around here. Now, the ender bow, I think that if we shoot something with it, we will switch places with that creature. So let's try that out. It's not recommended to do it if you land in a more dangerous situation, so it's not always the best bow for the job. But I guess it can come in handy. This isn't explored yet. And I see a corrupted ice core, so let's attempt shooting it with an ender bow. Yes, we switched places. So that's what the ender bow is. Now, as you see, the explosion doesn't exactly destroy blocks, it just turned them into this. This place is a gigantic maze. Like, it's really hard not to get lost here. So, excellent navigation skills in Minecraft helps. So maybe if you're the kind of person that gets lost often while caving, then mark your way so you can remember from where you came. Yes, this is the Snow Queen. Once you find a room where ice staircase is like this, you can for sure know that this is the Snow Queen. She's up there. So actually, I'm gonna step back a little and explore more. Maybe we find some more unique loot that I can tell you about. I think it would be a great idea to mark where the Snow Queen is. Find her later on. These pillars. Actually, let's put them here so it's more noticeable. It's actually usually a staircase like this that leads to the Snow Queen. Yes, I think all the times that I've found her, it's been a staircase like this on the way. So if you find this, know that she may be somewhere near. Another passageway. And started a fight. How lucky. This is what happens with skeletons and other mobs like zombies. Sometimes the skeleton tries to shoot you, but a zombie is in the way, so it gets shot, and then they get into a fight because the skeleton just attacked the zombie. So this is that with ice cores. Oh, okay. Now this is exciting. We found a glass sword. Well, as you can probably see, this is a very, very strong sword with 42 damage once you hit something. But there's a catch. It breaks after one use. So you should probably only hit something but if it's very strong, and very important to strike down as quickly as possible. And also, if you're sure it doesn't have a shield of some sorts. Of course, you can never be confident that you have explored everything. Places like this one sometimes slip past by unseen, and the only way to make sure is to check the whole palace, and sometimes go by outside by the exterior and dig in the walls at specific points. But I think that we have found all that matters for now. So now it's time for a boss fight. Let's remember again, this place leads to the Snow Queen. If you see ice staircases, that's her at the top of it. That. So in a room with ice staircases, there are 2 pairs. You can choose whichever one you think is the most convenient. Remember that the transparent glass will occasionally melt if you place a light source near it or dig it up. So it is recommended not to leave torches on the ground or in places where they may be destroyed by the water flow. So to get to the next story, you have to dig through the ceiling. Okay, let's go. And it's just this one here. It may be a smart move to place your bed somewhere up here in case you get killed by the Snow Queen during the fight. So I'm gonna go back. Set the spawn point. In some cases, it may actually be a good idea to leave an area nearby dark, because then mobs are going to spawn there and take up part of the mob cap, so you have to battle less enemies here. This ice is very annoying because of how it melts. It is also very important in this area to leave the ice ceiling and not break the ice stairs, because often during the battle the Snow Queen crashes down here and then she can get stuck, and then it's way easier to beat her. Yes, I think that there's so little mobs spawning here? Because there is a place somewhere nearby where all of them have spawned and taken up the mob cap. Otherwise, where would the ice corn noises be coming from? Okay. Now, you can see the glowstone, and that means that the Snow Queen is up there. As with all the other bosses, she has a spawner block that she will pop out of once we get close enough. Let's go. Now, she has 3 attacks. She can either shoot ice magic at you, which is very deadly and can kill your shield in 3 seconds. She can summon large snowflakes, which are similar to ice cores. Or she flies above you and tries to slam downwards. You may try to shoot her, but shooting the ice blocks will only reflect the arrow back at you. So only do that if you're sure the hit will land. So if she's on us, she may try to slam downwards, and then she can get— oh no, she summoned these. Okay. If she's successful in slamming down, she may get stuck. Now she's just hovering above us. Okay. And she didn't get stuck. But sometimes— while she's down there, it's a good time to attack. Oh. I think she got stuck. Let's make sure she doesn't come back up this way. At least not so easily, and get down here. Now, I think she's about to use the magic, which is the most dangerous attack. Yep. So avoid the stream of particles at all costs. And yes, as I said before, you cannot harm her through the ice blocks, so you have to shoot her. Well, oh, did she go down again? And now we can hit her with a sword. So yes, your best bet of killing her is just waiting until she gets stuck down, or you can, in theory, just try to shoot her with a bow, or when she lands down to shoot ice magic at you, run and attack with a sword, and that's how it's meant to be played. So let's help her out a little bit. Yes, there's this little gap that you can strike her through to further demonstrate what the boss fight is like if the Snow Queen doesn't come crashing down, but instead stays up in her little room, I have made this special world where the floor of the room is cobblestone, so that will prevent her from breaking it and will let us see what the fight is like if you stay up there. So there are several phases, as you already know, and this is the first of them, so we have to kill the ice cores as quickly as possible. And now we can start trying to hit the Ice Queen. You can hit her with a bow, or when she lands down here, you can use a sword. The most important thing in this part is to be aware of your surroundings and not lose too much health from the ice course. So this is the second part where she tries to crash down, and you can get a lot of nice hits here. It is also possible if the floor is ice, because she stays still for a little bit of time. And now when she raises her arms, you know that the third attack type is coming, where she shoots snow magic. You have to try to avoid it at all costs because it deals a lot of damage. But as you saw, it's also a nice opportunity to get a lot of hits on her. And that is what this fight is basically like. You have to gain as many hits as quickly as possible. And know the signs of each attack, so with the crashing attack, she will have these snow particles falling in a large amount. And this is a sign of the snow magic attack, as I said, the raised arms. You can also retreat down here if you lose too much health, and then jump back up when you have healed up. And if she gets stuck, you can kill her there, or use a different entrance. When you try to shoot her, note that you have to be extremely precise because the arrows jump off the ice blocks. And it appears that the fight is now over. And if you didn't get the advancement when you kill her, you should get it when you grab the loot she drops. Speaking of which, let's now discuss it. So, in earlier versions, her loot drops on the floor like with any normal mob, but in later versions, loot from bosses of the Twilight Forest, including the Snow Queen, appears in chests like this, so you don't accidentally lose. So let's take a look at what she drops. This is typical loot left by Snow Queen. So we get a bit of packed ice, some snowballs, and a Snow Queen trophy, just as we get with any other boss. It also makes a little bit of sound if you click on it. And some particles. And most importantly, we get one of these two bows. So the first one is the Seeker bow, and the other one is the Tree bow. So let's take a look at what these two can do. The Tree bow, like its name suggests, shoots 3 arrows at once. You can see it here a little bit better. Note that this only multiplies the damage and not the actual arrows, since you can only pick up 1. And the second is the Seeker bow. It basically fires homing arrows, which will adjust their flight path to hit your target. Watch. We hit the deer, even though we weren't aiming at it. There is one more type of bow that we haven't discussed yet, and as with the Ender bow, it's found in chests inside the Aurora Palace, so you won't get it from the Snow Queen, but you can find it while exploring her palace. So this is the Ice bow, and as the name suggests, it acts very similarly to the Ice sword, freezing the target. This is a demonstration of it. You can see that the target becomes slower and has those ice blocks attached to it. And this is basically also what happens if you try to enter the snowy forest without killing Lich first. You can also see that the pig became poisoned, sort of, and started taking damage, which can be useful if your target has very little health left. And that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this video or found it helpful. Thank you for watching and goodbye.